Sports Minutes with Ziaul Raushan.
Money FM 89.3. It's time for Sports Minutes with me, Ziaul Raushan. Well, it's been a few days since Singapore's 1-0 defeat to Nepal, and it seems like the rhetoric surrounding the national team has changed. But is it all really doom and gloom? With the news of a certain Perry Ng gaining his PR status and a host of younger lions making the step up to the national team, perhaps not. And on today's show, we'll hear from two players who could well and truly breathe fresh life and add fresh blood to this team. First, let's listen in to Perry Ng speaking to the Straits Times for the first time since attaining his PR status.
Doesn't feel real yet. Going to the ICA, picking it up was fantastic. It was exciting. Yeah, I'm just happy the first step's complete, and now we can hopefully apply for the next part. Ever since my grandfather passed away, I've wanted to do this to honour him, and my family in Singapore have never seen me play. My uncle and auntie are so excited. They keep sending me all the news articles, so hopefully soon they can watch me play in real life. The captain Harris has been fantastic. Yeah, I get on with most of them. I like Lionel, and I love Kyoga. He's been through the same process as me, so we get along very well. I've got a lot of experience, quite good physically, so hopefully I can bring that to the team and hopefully be a bit more calmer in possession and gain control when the times are getting a bit frantic, which the game was the other day. So I think I'll bring that to the team. It's good that I've come before I do get my passport to get used to it. I've learned a lot about jet lag and stuff, so I think when the passport does come, I will be ready. Yeah.
This is your second time training with the Lions?
Yeah.
Yeah, so football, there's ups and downs. So you've probably seen how spirited they were at the AFF, and then they lost 1-0 to Nepal a couple of days ago. What do you think about their performances so far, and how do you think you will fit into the team?
Yeah, training with the guys is a real shock to me. I think the quality and the intensity they show is top. I watched the game. I thought Nepal were actually really good. I think it was difficult once they got the first goal. They sat back really deep, and it's really hard to open teams up then. But I think we went through some analysts after the game, and I think the coach was spot on with what he said. There's just a few tactical things that if we changed, I think we could have won the game. And I think it'll put us in a better position for Hong Kong on Tuesday.
Perry Ng there expressing his joy at taking the first steps towards representing Singapore. And while Perry may not be in the matchday squad against Hong Kong, one player who certainly will be is Jordan Emaviwe. And he joins me from the Lions Den. Jordan, welcome to Sports Minutes. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you, Jordan. Been trying to pin down some time with you. Now seems better than ever. I want to talk about Chiang Rai and all the great things you're doing there, but I have to start with the elephant in the room, and I guess that's the Nepal result. The mood must be pretty dour in the camp after Friday's defeat. What's been said?
Obviously, the obvious that we have to improve. Obviously, it wasn't a good performance. I don't think we played up to our standard and up to our expectations. And we're going to try our best to rectify the mistakes and hopefully when the day comes against Hong Kong, we get the result.
Yeah, I think the whole of Singapore is hoping for the Hong Kong result to be more positive. Speaking post-match, though, you said Nepal clearly wanted it more. Why do you think this was the case, Jordan?
I don't know. Maybe they preparing for their game against Malaysia and coming to as an away team. I guess they just wanted to fight and get a result, I guess.
Yeah, Ogura was particularly scathing post-match as well, labeling some players as not good enough for the international level, which I was quite surprised with. But has he carried that same tone in team briefings and training since?
I wouldn't say so, but I think he just expects a lot from us, and obviously a lot is riding on this AFC tournament, especially after the kind of tournament we had in the AFF. We did well. So obviously I think it's natural for the coach to want to have this natural progression where we do well for AFF and AFC we want to do well again. We don't want to regress.
Absolutely. Jordan, I'm of the opinion that, yes, we lost to Nepal, but too much is being made of the result because ultimately it was a friendly. Do you agree that it was a friendly and therefore it's about testing systems and setups rather than all about the result per se?
It's not often that a national team can come together, so I think if there's a chance to experiment, I guess, in a friendly, it makes sense.
What's been the focus since in terms of preparation training for Hong Kong? Because you talk about it being a pivotal clash, so I'm sure it's been ramped up a bit.
Yeah, I think obviously we're looking into how Hong Kong plays and trying to see what we can, what our strengths are, as well as what is their weakness, and tackling it from the angle. Yeah.
And moving away from the football, another piece of news that came through is, of course, Perry Ng securing his PR. We heard from Perry himself earlier in the show, but how does Perry fare on the eye test for you, having spent time with him in training?
No, he's a great player, also a great person, to be fair. And I've spoken to him a few times. He's a nice guy, but on the pitch as well, he's class. You can tell, obviously, straight away. Obviously, he plays in a very, very good league. On the pitch, you can see.
And you were half smiling when you said you spoke to him already. Is his Scouse accent very hard to understand?
No, not really, because actually, like some of us, like especially Ilhan, we try to mimic the way he speaks. So
would it be too much to ask you to do a bit of a mimic?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
All right, I'll save it for when I get the chance to speak to Ilhan. Okay, now plenty of people are pinning their hopes on Perry, the likes of Perry, who's recently got PR, and then we're hoping that citizenship comes through soon enough to resurrect the national team fortunes, right? But how motivated are you and the younger ones, like your peers, to prove that you too can contribute to helping Singapore football?
Yeah, I feel like we shouldn't really depend on, how do I say this? We shouldn't really depend on naturalized players, because, I mean, we have a bunch of youngsters coming up too as well. We can look towards them and develop them as well. Obviously, I'm not saying that the likes of Perry do not bring anything to the team. They bring a lot of class and experience to the team for sure, but there are also youngsters who can look up to these players, learn from them, and bring up the level as well, equally as a naturalized players, let's just say.
Jordan, in preparation for this interview, right, I obviously was trawling through your social media, trying to find some information on you. One thing that stood out is a lot of your younger photos have teammates who you're currently in the national team with, like Shasha Hiran, Haris Stewart, to name a few, Raihan Stewart, I guess. How does it feel for all of you to have so many familiar faces in the main setup now? Does it feel like you guys have graduated to the big leagues, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it does feel like that. Honestly, it's a great feeling. You know, I've been with this guy since the young Lion days, and obviously all of us had our different journeys where we went into the national team at different times, but you know, all of us are here right now, and it does feel good for sure. It also shows that the Young Lions project worked as well as planned.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there in terms of all of you coming together and the Young Lions project bearing its fruits, right? Let's talk about your club form, because you seem to be absolutely enjoying life at Chiang Rai at the moment. 12 matches, 6 clean sheets, 2 goals scored, especially quite recently as well. How have you settled in as quickly as you have?
I think what really helped is having Harris there, because honestly, when you come into a new environment, it is tough. It is tough to come into a new environment, especially in football, especially for football, should I say. And but Harris really helped me a lot settle down. And honestly, I think the hard part was just like moving in and all this, moving in, getting accustomed to, let's say, like food, or trying to get into my daily routine. But I think the easiest part for me was just playing football.
If I can dig a little deeper, it obviously was a mid-season move. How did the move come about? Who approached who? Was Harris playing agent?
Yeah, Harris is my shout out to Harris, my agent. Yes, because Harris was my agent. He helped me. I knew my contract was running out come the middle of the season, so obviously my goal was ready to leave, and nothing was really going to stop me, honestly. So obviously I just reached out to a few of the boys who were overseas. Obviously some agents wanted to help me, but I just thought that the move to Chiang Rai aligned with my goals perfectly, so I chose Chiang Rai in the end.
We're going to talk about your goals in a short while, but coming back to Haris, you talk about him helping you settle in. Is it a case of you guys hanging out together all the time, being teammates, being roommates, or
like we're very close? Like we obviously see each other every day. Like I'm the designated driver because he doesn't like to drive, but I do like to drive. So I'll pick him up every day from his house. We go to training together. You know, during the off days, if he wants to do something, he'll call me. I think it really, honestly, like strengthened our bond, our friendship, actually, because I guess we're only seeing each other every day. So, like, that's naturally going to happen. So, yeah, I'm definitely grateful towards him.
And are you roommates at national team level as well?
Yeah, right now we are currently roommates, yeah.
So how long before you get sick of each other? Because that's a whole lot of seeing each other, man.
I think he's sick of me right now because I snore quite a bit. So he's been complaining, yeah.
All right, let's move it on. You mentioned playing 12 games for Chiang Rai, right? And you've already played a variety of positions, man. You played up front, you played centre-back, you've played full-back, I want to say. So clearly you're a utility player, and there's merits to being a utility player. And at the risk of asking you a question that's been over asked, when are you going to settle in one position? Because that's not coming from me, that's coming from one of your former teammates as well, Jared Gallagher.
Honestly, I don't know, because sometimes I'll play as a centre back and I have a good performance, I play well, and then I'll be put up top, let's say. And then I also have a good performance there. I'll score goals, I help the team. So I don't really know, to be fair. Obviously, my personal favorite is playing as a striker because I do love to score goals. I think it's honestly a great feeling. But at the same time, I can play well as a defender too. So, at the end of the day, if the coach puts me anywhere, I'll just do my best. That's it.
No, I love that. I love that you offer a variety of options. You talk about playing wherever the coach puts you. Considering your current form, were you surprised that he put you on the bench against Nepal?
I wouldn't say surprised, but I'm not really surprised. It's at the end of the day, if I'm on the bench, it just gives me fuel to do better in training and because at the end of the day, the coach has the final say. So if the coach thinks it's not good enough, if I'm not performing well enough in training, it's just to get back to training and just do my best again and break into the first team. Obviously, getting into the first team is not a given. Just because I'm scoring or I'm not conceding goals is not a given that I'll start. I just have to show coach in training that I'm worth starting, let's say.
Yeah, I think looking ahead to the Hong Kong game, you will be hoping to start. Time will tell if that comes true. Jordan, I want to ask you this. We talked about your style of football, right? Is there someone you model your game on internationally?
I try to model if I'm playing as attacker, let's just say, I like Rashford or Lukaku, let's say. Those are two players that I look up to if I'm playing as an attacker. But as a defender, there's this defender called Bastoni from Inter Milan. I feel like I play like him, where he likes to attack as well, because they play in a system of a back three system, and he likes to go up. But he's also a very good defender too. So that's someone who I try to model my game around.
That's fascinating. And you mentioned Manchester United, former Manchester United player as well. So I'm sure the listeners will get excited with that. We've talked about the good stuff in terms of Chiang Rai settling in, Haris helping you. It can't all be hunky-dory though. There must be some challenges, right? What are some challenges you've had to overcome?
I'll say maybe the environment, I want to say. Because it's definitely different to when I was in Ballistic Khalsa, the way things are ran. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's just different, and as well as language barrier, let's say. Obviously, I'm in Thailand, they're speaking Thai. So sometimes when the coach wants to get his point across, it might not come across completely because, language is a thing. So
we talked about your ambitions, right? You saying Thailand was the right step now. I want to talk about what's beyond Thailand. What's Jordan's ultimate ambition? You've used Haris as your agent. Is it time to go to the other brother Raihan and try and secure a move, perhaps?
We'll see in the future, but obviously, yes, I do want to play in Europe. I think it'd be good. It'd be only good for our country, But if that's not the case, I wouldn't want to. I would like to stay overseas. I wouldn't want to come back to Singapore.
You've been most generous with your time. I've just got one final question to wrap you up because I'm guessing you have to run off to training. In the here and now, though, we're talking about Hong Kong. What are the fans going to expect from this team? Because I want you to talk to the listeners and tell them why they should show up on Tuesday to the National Stadium to come support you boys.
We're gonna come to the game with a lot of a desire, fight. Obviously it's a home game and we want to start off well, especially this tournament, because the goal obviously is to qualify. So we're gonna come in with a lot of energy, and hopefully at the end of the game we come away with the 3 points. That's the most important.
Because you mentioned Marcus Rashford, if you score, can you do the Rashford celebration for us?
I will.
All right, fantastic. Jordan, thank you so much for speaking to Sports Minutes. All the best for the game against Hong Kong.
Thank you for having me.
Sports Minutes on Money FM 89.3.